Welcome back to Dark Matters and another update from the realm of England. So yet again, I am joined by Robin for a hard-hitting update on what is really going on in our so-called courts. So we are talking corporate vessels, legal fictions, and how living men and women are being illegally converted into entities on paper so they can be trafficked through a private system. The solicitors and the bar are not there to stand with you, they are there to represent you, to take you off the land into their jurisdiction. So every judge you see now is an administrative officer running acts and statutes and corporate legislation, stamping everything with black corporate stamps, no constitutional seal, no red wax seal, no true authority at law. The courts themselves sit under licence by the council under the Licensing Act 2003, which is why the council tax and similar cases the council will never find against itself. This is the reality we are facing, but there is remedy. So stay with us. Robin Hood is here to walk you through exactly how we call it out and how we start taking back what is rightfully ours. Robin, are we ready?
We are ready if the people are ready. This is the facts. I do not talk nonsense. I do not talk fiction. I talk what is actually happening on the ground. Most people will see what I'm doing. I'm going in, issuing courts. I'm issuing police stations. I'm issuing chief constables, PCCs, police crimes commissioners. They're going to all be issued very shortly. What I'm doing is I'm now putting a crack team together because we've all had enough. I personally am sick and tired of running under statutory policy by a fraudulent parliament. But we'll go into that in a later date, but that's just the update. What I want to show is what biometrics is. So what we've done is I've just done a little tinkering about, as I always do. So I'm going to ask you, Carly, to read out the document I've just sent you, which will be available on the realm. It's got all the case law, everything there. This is an easy claim and easy money for everybody. This is where they've overreached their mark. So this is a £10,000 to £30,000 claim without even trying.
Yeah.
So if you want to read this out, Kaz.
We have done a couple of short videos which will be going up on the Realm YouTube and the new TikTok and varying things just to try and capture people's imaginations really with the facts of the case. So bear with this document because I've only just been sent it, so it's not been formatted yet again in any other kind of fashion. But like Robin said, it will be up in the Realm, so it will be formatted. So you want me to read it out, yeah?
Yeah, this is the appendix that's the most important. The main document just highlights what we've been doing, and this is the key facts to the main document.
Appendix A, biometric data fraud, GDPR breaches and illegal conversion. Demand for immediate destruction and arrest warrants to the High Court, etc., Royal Courts of Justice, tribunals, read on, so far, and so on. So your name here, Just Naturel, Justin Rem, Sovereign Sue Juris, Constitutional Reform Act 1986 and 2005, Judicial Supremacy, Constitutional Reform Act 2005, Section 3.1, Judiciary must have regard to independence and access to justice. Data breaches or biometric data breaches, Article 9 and Section 170 of the Data Protection Act 2018, UK GDPR, Article 414. Biometric data means personal data resulting from specific technical processing relating to physical, physiological or behavioural characteristics, uniquely identifying a natural person. Unlawful obtaining of processing of biometric data is a criminal offence under Data Protection Act 2018, Section 170. We're talking about GDPR, lawful basis, and the case of S and Marper v UK, ECHR 1581, biometric retention fraud. Blanket indiscriminate retention of fingerprints, DNA profiles, fails to strike fair balance, and this overstepped margin of appreciation. Also note Article 8, Violation 4, and the case of South Wales Police Supreme Court Michael v Chief Constable, UK SC2. Paragraph 151, police owe no common law duty of care where aware of specific threat to life. Police biometric negligence confirmed, also in Archibald's criminal pleading 2025, biometric treason. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah. Let's get it all on.
Archibald 2025, chapter 25, page 2045. Treason, breach of allegiance exceeds all crimes. Archibald criminal pleading evidence, yada yada. Fraudulent orders are void. Halsby's Laws, volume 61. Quorum non-judice orders equal absolute nullities. Senior court officials of the Royal Masters judges issuing biometric orders without Lex Terrae jurisdiction of the land, void judgments. Admiralty law against illegal conversion. Again, the Senior Courts Act 1981, section 21(1). Arrest warrants for fraudulent maritime claims, turning us into vessels, and this conversion fraud. Civil procedural rules or criminal procedural rules is that part 61, R61 must be criminal, in rem jurisdiction over fraudulent vessels. Case law, fail to disclose license agreement. LBUV Palazzo, Cal App 2D 346348, failure to reveal material facts of license/agreement is immediate grounds for estoppel. Biometric processes are permanently stopped, previously cited. Anti-Keros shipping the Adani Bombay HC, wrong jurisdiction orders, non-est, and there's the case. Court lacking jurisdiction is a nullity and is a non-est order. Broom's maxims, biometric fraud, vitiated. Frauds omnia corrumpit, fraud vitiates everything. Biometric fraud corrupts all. Fraud is fraud ad ab infinitum. Biometric fraud perpetuates endlessly. Fiction is fiction ad infinitum. Person fiction cannot bind sovereign. Us. Injury by intentional misrepresentation, concealment, fraud, no data protection, or DPIA, interim assessment into data protection assessment, explicit consent without our explicit consent equals fraud. Deceit pretends one thing, does another. Police biometric systems lack authority, de jure Lex Terrae superiority, and land law prevails over Admiralty doctrine, and all the laws are in there as well. Immediate remedies demanding 7 days, destroy all biometric data. GDPR Article 9, Section 170 of the Data Protection Act, breach and issue warrants. Police biometric fraud, vessels SCA S21, vacate biometric orders, quorum non-judice, nullities. Halsby's Para 101 CPR 3.31.6. Disclosure, civil procedural rules, biometric processing records, non-compliance, contempt and treason, indictment. Now that might sound like a lot of gobbledygook to everybody, but do you want to explain that?
I'm just gonna basically clarify that, because I'm sick of people saying, "Oh no, there's not we can do. It's you know, we've got to go with this." We don't have to. This is what I'm telling you now. This is an easy £30,000 in your bank account. Easy as falling off a log. Right? In the middle of the river. So these are just basic case laws, hierarchies of laws, and even more apparent, the actual law of the land, which states that you cannot, and the police cannot, do biometrics. So all these speeding cameras with your photographs in it, that's fraud. Can't do that either. All these that are setting up biometric data, the police officers are now to be charged with treason, because this is illegal conversion. As stated there, if you go back to that 1981 Supreme Court Act, right? So this is it. So there it is, black and white. Any judge, any officer, any licensed administrative scumbag now tells you or tries to speak to you outside of jurisdiction is now in the act of treason. And as to admiralty law, which is vessel law, so now what we do, we bring their corporate vessel into their jurisdiction under admiralty law, while we stand in jus naturel, just in rem, living executor, under de jure Lex Terrae law. So now they are trapped in rem, admiralty, administration, vessel, because that's what they are. They're a corporate vessel, nothing more. And by the illegal conversion of us into state fictions, it's treason. Now, this is not my words, this is their words. This is in their law books. This is in our law books. That's why I've keyed everything, so it cannot be mistaken. It cannot be rebutted. It cannot be challenged at any level. And the fact that we now demand from the Admiralty, as the living executor, for the arrest of these officers and their superiors, this is an easy 30,000 quid. And then what we do is we then transfer them to Admiralty Military Tribunal under common law for committing treason against the living executive by illegal conversion, by illegal fiction and counterfeit documents. We've just gone on, it's just stated there, the black stamp. Oh, no, sir. Can't use that. That's an administrative. I'll take that. Thank you very much. That's the evidence that gives you the rope dance. So all these police officers, now the big bully boys, that have come and stole people's houses, that have forced their ways in with bailiffs and assisted bailiffs, have a guess what you guys are going to get very shortly. It's called the rope dance. Because under common law, the death penalty has not been removed. And for high treason, felony treason, there is only one sentence. That is death. There is no life imprisonment. There is no anything else. This is usurpation of the constitutional will of the people. It is death immediately, effectively, within 24 hours. Simple as that. There is no room for appeal because it is proven. Because you are in a black uniform enforcing a corrupt counterfeit document that has no constitutional seal. You are working from the Licensing Act, Section 1, issued to the police regional force by the council. This is why you can never beat the council in court, because it's their courts. The court itself is licensed by the council. The judges are licensed by the council. And the Bar Guild card. So, all coming from the foreign city of the inner city of London. And by illegal, fraudulent instruments called legislation, which have gone through and illegally converted the land dwellers, the people, onto the administrative water by illegal conversion. Now, if that wasn't law or wasn't a thing, why would Aylesbury's, Archibald's 2025 all state it is a thing? They're law books. Archibald is the 24-carat gold book of the High Court. That simple. Right?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, that people think that, I went on a podcast and got told that, I was saying something very dangerous, that, the council tax is law and you do have to pay it. It's like, well, no, it isn't. This has been well studied for many, many years from all of us, as, and particularly you now leading the charge. It's not woo-woo. This is the law.
This is the problem. They illegally and unlawfully converted what is law to legislation. Legislation is not law. It is for corporation policies. That's nothing to do with the human being. But what they've done is, through legislation, they put your house on water. The postcode, and I've documented this many, many times, is now the port code for the birth number of your house. Registration in it to the Land Registry Corporation has now put you in the field of commerce. Your property is in commerce, and this is the easy way they do it. There are 3 personas that they use. Your driving license persona, passport persona, personam, and you've got the quasim, the trust vessel. So you've got one, the state vessel, the state created thing. That's how they describe it, not me. That's the fact in law or fact in evidence. It is the state created thing of your birth certificate. Right? So then you've got the quasim, trust vessel identity. That is your trust accounts. Then you've got the PSC. Now, this is very interesting because they've now put us all under, and I've demonstrated it in this document as well, but also under Section 26 of the Companies Act. We're all incorporated. By Section 790 LM, we are the PSCs of our similar name, all caps, corporation, dead corporation, fiction. Therefore, all your land-based assets, which have now been illegally converted onto water-based assets, incorporated, corporated assets of the vessel. I know that's a mouthful, but that's what they've done. Absolute greed and nonsense. But by you using their system, they now believe that they can now have the right to convert you into an administrative vessel and all your assets.
Well, I don't know whether you can see that on the screen, Robin, but I've just brought the Companies Act 2006 up about the PSC and the registration of it. Can you see that?
I can sort of see it. I haven't got my glasses on.
Yeah.
Need to enlarge it a bit. Yeah, but it's there. You can see.
Yeah. There's all the laws. Yeah. So the police, again, they're purely administrative at this point, and their powers strictly statutory and licensed.
Yep. So they've no powers of arrest. None. They can't arrest you. They can only arrest your photograph. They can only arrest your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Because we stand above the corporate vessels. It tells you in the document I've just said we're over. Under their maritime doctrine, Lex Terrae and the sovereign living executor stands above the police force. And this is what they've tried to remove from law. If you look at this now where it says about the SRA.
Yeah.
Right? The SRA acknowledge it cannot lawfully work for or against the living executor or the just in rem. Sovereign. The SRA do not represent individuals in their private capacities, cannot act for or against living persons in rem just in rem matters. SRA official position. This is in their own handbook.
Yeah. So again, there's no disclosure, is there? There's no disclosure because failing, like it says, failing to acknowledge this constitutes illegal conversion and treasonous conduct under Archibald Criminal Pleading 2025, Chapter 25, court licence and breach of justice. Yeah.
Right? It's there. It's there in the maxims. No judge in his own cause. Broom's maxims. That is the lawful maxims that is in the book of law maxims. I only use correct identifiers. Breach of Article 6. Right to counsel of your choice. Denied. When you want to fetch in your lawful advocate that knows more law than these judges and what have you, and they refuse, oh, you can have a Mackenzie friend. Oh, no, it's not court of law then. So I'll have the representation I want. That is my constitutional right. I'll have a jury. It is my constitutional right. No administrative fiction, Parliament can remove juries. It's legislation. It's for civil proceedings. That's why they try and take you into civil or commerce proceedings. If you've got a loved one in jail, he can't be there. They've just exposed it on in America now. A young lad has gone on to the judge and asked him to disclose the QSIP conversion of his father's sentence. How much do you think they got for locking a man up for 15 years?
Wow, come on.
7.5 billion. The judge takes a cut, the police force takes a cut, the clerk takes a cut, the court manager takes a cut.
Yeah. And this is what we were saying, isn't it? You know, that they're all complicit, willfully or ignorantly, you know, in ignorance, rather, is ignorantly even a word? And this is what we were saying about the common law and treason. You know, if you're doing this willfully, if you're doing it in ignorance, it's still the same thing. And that's why we need to get this information out, because these people need to sit the fact down and have a word with themselves and stop.
Well, this is why I'm now exposing the correct way of doing it. Because what people are doing is oil and water. You're trying to take a corporate vessel upon the land. Right? You can't do that. And it's like their clever system now, where they take us and convert the land, the living executor, through fraudulent and treasonous acts of legislation through Parliament by illegal conversion into vessels corporate, vessels personam, vessels trust vessels, so they can claim through your Cesta V trust, so they can PSV you to the banks, right, through the QSIP, Chris numbers. It is one massive fraud, deception, theft, and illegal conversion. It is treason at the highest level. This is why the GoFundMe that we're trying to achieve at the minute is so important. Because I want to go to the Admiralty Court and now demand that every judge in England must display his securityship, his security or bonds. And let me tell you, they have no bonds. None. Because there's not a court in England other than the Admiralty military tribunal courts are common law anymore. So the way to pierce their vessel, their corporate fiction veils now, is that we take them to administrative court under Admiralty as a vessel, corporate vessel, We now expose their wrongdoing and criminality by illegal conversion, and then take them to Admiralty Maritime Tribunal, Military Maritime Tribunal under Admiralty law, and demand the death penalty. Everybody says, oh, the death penalty's been removed. No, it can't be removed. It has not been removed from common law. It has been removed from statutory law while Tony Blair was committing treason, and has no authority to remove the death penalty from administrative jurisdiction. None. And he only did it because, have a guess where he was stood? Administrative.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
While doing treasonous and high treason and treasonous behaviour in public office, while being in corporate office.
Yeah.
Which is a breach of the maxim of law. No two states can stand in the same jurisdiction. No two jurisdictions can stand in the same state. So he now is not only studying, and none of these judges and politicians that we've got today, they're not studying two states, they're studying 3 and 4. They're sliding across jurisdictions,
Yeah.
and across payment avenues,
Yeah.
to maximise their own cause. That is treason upon itself.
I mean, the amount of money and the asset stripping that's going on, that, you know, with these securities and QSIP numbers and our bonds and things and the trusts, and it's just unfathomable, isn't it?
It's trillions.
Well,
it is
we have
trillions
it,
upon trillions.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's a case of, let's not forget that this is 300 years old.
Yeah.
This is 300 years old. And what everybody's got to realise now is that Parliament are now trapped under usurpation. They're trapped under the Terrorism Act, force of political agenda.
Yeah.
They're trapped under the Slavery Act, both 2010 and Article 4 of the ECHR, and others, and treaty laws and everything else, right? Because now, by usurpation of our constitutional rights and our sovereignty, and the attempted removal of that, is absolute high treason. It's the death penalty. It's as simple as that.
No, like
they have nowhere to go.
With all these data breaches as well, you know, your data is kind of your intellectual property. Now, when they take it like that, as you know, when you stand in the jus in rem, natural sovereign, etc., you know who you are. You know, when you know that they can't do that, then the remedy is there. It is that know thyself. So the breach of the data, or the concealment, etc., as we kind of discussed earlier in simple terms, is a breach of trust, because they have a fiduciary duty, don't they? Once you put them in the correct position, but they've twisted all those positions, as we've spoke about many times.
Yeah, they're in
that
you know,
becomes
again,
a crime. It's a breach of trust law is a breach of the data is a breach of trust law, and a breach of trust law is one of the highest breaches of law.
And again, with fiduciary duty by an officer that has been selected to represent the people is a massive, massive betrayal and breach of trust. Now, this is why the police now are not obligated to defend you and defend your life. Whereas, as police constables, they were under common law duty to defend you. They are now not. They are now, by illegal conversion and deception, breach of disclosure 1 to 6, 31 to 31.1 to 31.6, and 12 and 14, by not giving you material facts and evidence that they are duty bound to inform you of, are now guilty of a more serious crime than you've committed by felony treason. Failing to disclose that they're under license. This is why The police turn up for council tax. This is why they turn up and getting paid extra to do house repossessions so that they can buy them cheaply, that bailiffs can buy them cheaply. Right?
I mean, yeah, it's like this video, everyone's jumping up and down and, you know, not again, protest away. It's a waste of energy. It's like, it's already in. This is it. You know, when we get to this
well, the thing
point,
is, it's not. The thing is, it's not in. The point is, if we now start hitting them with £30,000 fines, immediate arrest warrants, which is under the Supreme Courts Act 1981 for illegal conversion, and under Admiralty law. So now the Admiralty has to do what we tell it to do, and that is arrest every police officer, every chief constable, every PCC for data protection breaches. We can now charge as to 80, I think it's 82, 83, 84 in that whatever. We can now not only charge them under data protection 170, Article 9, GDPR, and Article 8 of the ECHR, right to privacy. That's 30 grand. But the GDPR now, you can claim 4% of the annual turnover of the office of the corporation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's all start coming together and smashing them in. Let's all start putting freezing orders on their accounts till they paid you, till it's come to a proper court.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it is about, you know, it's about knowing this stuff, but what a great way to back the system up and to take back that wealth that they stole from us in the first place.
Not exactly. And not only that, but let's look at the Justice Minister who's just said, he's in negotiations now to remove juries. Don't think so, pal. Wow. You've blown your own head off. Because that now is an immediate usurpation of our constitutional norms.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't care if anybody believes in constitution or not. It's there. It's a reality. Get used to it, guys. Stop being brainwashed. Administration is not law. Legislation is not law.
Yeah.
It is exactly what it says it is on the tin. It is a rule for all administrative vessels to adhere to. It is not for living executives.
Yeah.
Right? That's why they've got tort of executor, tort of negligence, tort of trespass.
Yeah.
These are all treasonous felonies against the constitutional man, the living soul of God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this finishes. I mean, not the whole game, but this is certainly the section of it. And come to the realm of England, it is the end game.
It certainly is. We've now got full redress, full accountability, and this is why that it is so important that we really get this donation thing off now and get it flying, guys. It's got to come from the people, because we are not only going to go into, we are going to tear their house down. There is no justice in England. None. It is all administrative vessels for stripping. You are an asset to be now stripped for everything for profit. So now what we ask the judges, and we're going to start doing the same, and I'm going to start looking into certain things. We're now going to ask the judges, the clerks, and everybody else, and the police constables and the PCCs, as this is a 40% tax revenue and reported to the IRS because you're a corporate vessel, have you reported your earnings? Have you been taxed on the? Well, we want all your ledgers. We want all this of what you've taken from the PSVing of our cases.
Yeah.
What you've taken out of my trust. Because what people forget is chasing this trust. You're all chasing it the wrong way. But I'll go into that in another show, and I'll show you if everybody wants it, fair enough, I'll let the secret go. But there's loads of others that have got it out, and they're saying they're living off it and they're doing whatever. It pays your bills, it does whatever, it does what it's supposed to do, and it removes you from the state corporation. Because what they say is that you'll take benefits. Now, they call it then a pension. It's under UK corporation. So now they've caught you in treason by illegally converting, and they've got you in slavery by claiming that you are British.
Mm-hmm.
The British Act is a joke. You're now under the authority of the state corporation. 1948 and 1981. All of these things are deception, illegal conversion, fraudulent, and treasonous. It's as simple as that.
Well, I think, like, on that note, we'll probably leave it because we're trying to keep the update short. But obviously, I always like to give you an opportunity if you want to just add something else on the end, because in summary, that is a good point just to finish it on, really. Like,
yep. It's put your hand in your pocket. I know things are tight. We don't care if it's £1, if it's £1,000, whatever you can afford to donate to our campaign. This is now going to get the judges, to get the police officers, to get the PCCs. This is to reclaim all of our assets back from not only the corporate vessel, but from the man behind the corporate vessel, the corporate veil.
Exactly. And that's what we're asking for. I mean, I was asked the question today. It's like, people are the more emotional, the worried, the scared. And I totally get that. But we don't expect people to be learning every single detail. We don't expect them to climb into your head or mine. But what we do ask, wholeheartedly, and with the thanks in advance, just, like I say, if you can send a tenner, if you can send 10 grand, whatever it is, because this is what is happening. This is what we're doing. And we do need the support. We need people's help. We can be the vanguard, but we need people stood up, as living men and women behind us, don't we? So if you are listening to this, please do like the video. Please do share it. Please tell other people, tell your neighbours, because as you've just heard, the courts, the councils, the solicitors are running a licensed corporate game. It's a trick. It's a con job. It's a hack. It's a criminal mafia at the end of the day, and we can reverse it. And if you watch this, even if you don't understand all of it, we know what's happening. It is tyranny. It is treason. Come to the realm of England, learn how to stand as a living executor, and stand with us, because it's time to take back what was unlawfully taken. Robin, again, thank you for all your tireless work up and down the country. Please do also check out the Round of England YouTube and TikTok. Those things are going to start building up now, because we're trying to do this in snippets of information, because we do realise, for the nerds out there, but if people can just understand the basics, and if people can just please support us, and please do support Robin. And again, thank you so much for watching. Robin, thank you again, and we will no doubt see you next time.
Thank you and goodbye.